We have arrived at the skunk ape capital of Florida, Torreya State Park. And man, am I excited. Here we are appreciating sacred soil and the Torreya tree. In this vicinity on the Apalachicola River, hardy Brian Kroom, pioneer Florida planter and botanist, discovered one of the rarest coniferous trees, Torreya taxifolia, circa 1835, and named it for Dr. John Torrey, prominent American botanist. Only 4 other species exist, but they are widely separated areas of China, Japan, California. Kroom's promising botanical career ended in 1837 when he perished in the wreck of the steamship Home off Cape Hatteras. And you can see the long pines. And this, guys, is gopher wood, the rarest, lightest, strongest wood in the world. And it is what Noah used to build the ark. There is many botanists, a whole team, replanting in this holy land. L.V. Calloway sat right here at the Gregory House and made a documentary about the Garden of Eden. 27 of the 28 trees in the Bible are right here in this region. Gopher wood, which Noah used to build the ark, Torreya, is right there. What a special place. Now this Gregory House was over at Ochese Landing, the prime target for Florida's capital in the early days, right along the Apalachicola River. This house has had lots of apparitions, history, strange lights, weird things appearing in the corner of people's eyes and also in photographs. They do tours here. There's a gift shop. It's a very sacred place. I know some people that have hosted weddings here. It's really cool to think it's taken on a life of its own. But at the very least, it is a beautiful historical house. But as we are here at the edge of the old continent, you can just appreciate the magic down below. All the creeks lead here, the caves, and make deposits into the Grand River. We've seen large deer cross right below, so you know what else has. It's the delta that breaks into 4 rivers. It is sacred, y'all. I will provide the energy I need for this expedition. I'm already hearing strange noises here at Torreya State Park, and it is no surprise because just in the past year I have GoPro'd something wading through one of the creeks and also experienced a boulder being thrown behind us on trail. It's crazy how opposite sides of the spectrum they made me feel, The one below in the creek, I was terrified. And as they threw a boulder behind us, I wasn't even alarmed. I was still very peaceful. As I was cruising around the park, I saw an X. So I pulled my car over and ran over to it. And then I heard something moving in the brush. Also heard some knocks over in the distance that very well could have been a bird, but sometimes you have to soak it in and follow the glyphs, guys. Finding Bigfoot filmed multiple episodes here, and it is the Cabbage Man capital. There are caves, cliffs, ancient stones, red, rare, jasper. Donnie Miller from Standing Goats Rescue had a face-to-face encounter with a skunk ape on the Torreya Challenge trail. We will climb up that a bit and definitely check it out. I'm here in the name of the great creator, and I am a friend of the ancient one. Knock. The dense terrain and magical landscape is an oasis for nature and cryptids alike. The abundance in fungus, berry, and other edibles makes this for a truly special place. While I was cruising in here on MLK, I was just in awe of the deep crevices and sinks on all the farmland's property. Soon I'm going to print out flyers and put them in all their mailboxes to ask them if they've had any strange occurrences. There have been giant footprints casted right here. Also, other scary encounters. They've been reported online, in documentaries, and on podcasts. There have been strange lights, trumpets in the sky, and even UFO sightings. The Bridges family is not far from here in Chattahoochee. They had a couple episodes on finding Bigfoot. They were the ones who were famous for having that greasy, slimy hand on their glass front door. Right when I stepped off trail going this way, I heard a knock to my left. Check this out. So there's a little game trail right here. And it continues down. I think this will be a perfect spot for my first gift. I found this Native American pottery in the region. I'm gonna try to give it back to where it once came from. We passed this hole on this tree. Knock! I'm showing that I'm friends with the forest people. I am Connor. Nakona. Definitely a special spot over there. You can see that structure clear as day. So again, we know we're on the right trail. Look how high those hills are. Things could see us and feel us from far away. I've been manifesting positive energy since last night, planning for positive encounters, coming closer to my knocks. They are known around the world as wildmen, kushtaka, the huggin, the yowie, the yeren, the yeti, the grassman, the big bear beast. But I know them as the Stump Jumpers, rodmen. Now that's pretty interesting. Looks like most likely a big boot, but there's been thousands of boot. That weren't that big and heavy. Might have slid in the mud. Here's one of the famous features here at Torreya State Park. The old stone bridge. And I actually found some red jasper that had been worked on down the creek that way. But I always like to come down here and look for footprints, anything that's kind of washed up. There's amazing archaeology mixed with awesome architecture. And you can't get better than that. I could spend hours looking through the stones and fossils down here. It truly is so magical here in Eden. And I really hope I come upon a footprint, so that way hauling all this casting supplies around is worth it. But gotta pay to play. What a sacred place. If you can see the signs, you can sometimes fall in between the lines. I found all these weird buttons in the water. Really strange. You never know what lurks. Knock. Right here on the challenge trail, it's where the encounters are abundant. This is where Stacy Brown and his father were heading when they got their grade A footage. And this is where Donnie Miller had his face-to-face encounter. And I heard knocks and clicks as I was walking in. I actually saw something dark out of the corner of my eye. Sometimes your mind just plays games and tricks, but other times it's your third eye, it's your instinct. But I am a friend of the forest, so I walk with the power of light and love. There was so much sound coming up the trail, I actually thought it was other hikers. But now I see I'm alone, and it was most likely a skunk ape. But they are our protectors. They are our teachers. I am full of Nakana. I am a son of Nanuka. Knock. The Torreya Challenge is definitely one of the most strenuous hikes in Florida. It's about 6 miles. It takes 6 hours to hike. There's emergency numbers and everything. A lot of warnings. Luckily there's rest camps and other things to get you right. Seeing a red bird, which is a good sign for me because I'm from Ohio and our state bird is the cardinal. Right here at this first bridge. Is where Brother Donnie had his interaction. So I have this Amazonite. It's a calming, soothing stone. I'm going to offer it up as a sign of brotherly love. Thank you for all the wisdom and all the journeys. We both represent the great Creator. We love the one who died for all. Take this offering as friendship. I'm looking forward to the future of learning from you guys. Knock. The tip might be broken, and the base might be fragile, but the pineal gland stays strong forever. I'm very excited for this loop. There's always new experiences, challenges, thrills and chills. Good to see the bridge has been repaired. These ancient valleys and rivers, crystal springs. It's tuck everlasting. It's exactly what Ponce de Leon was looking for. There's beauty in every direction. Da Vinci, Fibonacci, all the greatest minds and artists aimed for this. With every thought. As a Bigfoot enthusiast growing up, I dreamed about hunting down the swamp thing, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the green clawed beast. I lived out in my car across America, slept under bridges, dead-end roads, rest areas, Walmarts, 24-hour gas stations. I struggled so I could find my path. And today, I'm exactly where I need to be. I grew up at Salt Fork, Mohican, the Ohio Valley, close to the moundbuilder, the sun worshippers, our ancestors. Abraham Lincoln mentioned them. Teddy Roosevelt wrote about them, hunted them, and he might even be the famous bowman who was taken by the creatures. whenever we find a small glyph, it reminds me that there's gremlins, elementals, fairies, and a little bit of everything in between here in the Florida swamps. The Ocheesee Pond is where the wildman was captured in the 1800s. Its waters are not far from here. How's it going, man?
All right. What's up?
Any skunk ape activity today on the trail?
Just me.
Just you? You are a big guy.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. That's what they say, brother.
Nice. My dad's a fireman too, so salute to you.
Oh, okay. I'm not really a fireman. I'm just a ranger, brother.
Hey, well, you're out here patrolling.
Where you from?
Cleveland originally.
Really?
And now I live over in Alpha.
Okay.
But man, this place speaks to me. I feel like it's brought me, from lifetimes before.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Well, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Have a good one, brother.
You too.
It's always awesome running into friendly people on the trail. That might be the ranger that I've talked to years ago that told us over by the Rock Creek camp, that's where some Boy Scouts had some activity. It's good to see them with the chainsaw clearing paths and doing hard work out here. And you gotta think, when you're looking for rocks and edibles and clearing paths, that's when the cabbage man will toy with you. He's probably getting a good laugh to himself, but he'll be thinking about it. And thoughts manifest. Perfect mud hole to look for prints, but just saw some boots. There was also a lot of battles set up and fought right along these riverbanks. There's dugouts and furnaces along a few of the other trails. The Mayaca skunk ape photos are the most famous. And there are two photos showing a snouted creature with sharp teeth. And they were anonymously sent to the Sarasota Police Department. I was told there are dozens of these photos, and that it was a frequent visitor to eating the apples. For Stacy Brown's campout, we had a plethora of activity. We recorded some strange things on the thermal imaging. Something very big up in a tree. We found a bear footprint that might have 6 toes, like the Nephilim. Nana Boss in Squatch in South Florida also found orange and red hair on one of the Native American picnic tables. I filmed the discovery and also caught Matt getting zapped almost falling all the way down to the ground. He records some knocks, weird chatter, murmurs and samurai voices, something walking and something throwing little acorns outside of our tent. But more importantly, there was a bond, a friendship. That was really weird that was just sitting there perfectly. But again, sometimes you just have to read the signs. Interesting. Look at this perfect cover. Imagine this on a bigger scale. Very, very cool. A perfect blind. That you can hide and stalk this game trail. And the noise from the creek would be the perfect cover. Monster edibles out here. Ginseng is selling for about $800 a pound nowadays. When I'm crossing over all these little embankments, I'm searching for hair, long strands, and also disturbances in the leaves and dirt. As you keep following this game trail, knock. After a successful trip to the Florida Bigfoot Conference, I went to the Green Swamp with Nana Boss and Squatch in South Florida, and we had crazy interaction. We knocked back and forth for nearly 10 minutes together with two potential juvenile Sasquatches. And then we also heard a loud knock from way behind. We think that was a parent calling them back to camp. We found about 4 or 5 potential footprints and even 3D scanned one of them. Had some weird electrical anomalies, which are also happening a little bit right now. My batteries are draining quick, but that is no surprise when you're in sacred valleys and dense terrain. The real question is, are these tree structures pulling and harnessing the battery life They just might. But these steep cliff sides are a perfect home for what bumps in the night. And just to think, something could run full speed and jump from here to there. The size of the cabbage man varies from location to location. The Stump Jumper and 2-egg, they say, is more looks like Shrek. Shorter, wider, thicker. But there's been sightings of tall beasts, 10 to 11 feet tall, near West Palm in the Everglades. My mom was just in the Everglades this past week, and she was keeping an eye out for the mookie, for the devil monkey. And on these cliff sides, I feel like I'm a prime target to be tackled down into the gully. With all these bluffs and caves, it's amazing to think what goes on underneath our feet. I'm sure there's entrances to the aquifer, to Middle Earth, to Agatha. After watching Bone Tomahawk, The Grinch, Abominable, Strange Wilderness, Sasquatch Gang, and Nightmare Alley, you see how the wild man is treated by modern society and why they stay in the shadows, away from our reach. The terrain is no joke. I remember the last time I was with a group here, Tristan and Cameron were an awesome team, but we almost lost one of our members because Cameron went down with severe dehydration. One of the rangers even came up and checked on him. But we got him back to the road in safety. But he did lose my dowsing rods. So hopefully the rod bender did not bend these rods and uses them to communicate with the other side and maybe find what his senses can be heightened by. For those who don't know, I'm a paranormal author. I've written 4 books: Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, Big Brother, Bigfoot, panhandle pirates and monsters and mysteries around the corner. I dive in to the strange and unusual that surrounds us every day. I was also in the movie Zillafoot. It's half Godzilla, half Bigfoot. It's free to watch on Amazon Prime. It's one of those so bad it's good cult classics. But I'm very happy to be a part of it because Jack McClellan is a kaiju creature, cryptid, visionary. He's the mind behind Lost and Found, and also the short film that I starred in called The Void Cat. There's a mixture of wildman, splinter cat, and also the dogman. I've seen a couple shapes and blurs out of the corner of my eye. That I just know is energy overload out here. We actually had a Sasquatch encounter on the set of Void Cat. Ethan and I were scouting the grounds in Chattahoochee, not far from the sacred Native American mounds, and also in the same woods as the Bridges, Skinwalker Swamp. We were scouting the land and we talked to the gardener, and he said that there's something strange back behind the house. When we're exchanging information, we hear a tree get cracked over, and Ethan, who's former law enforcement, goes into interrogation mode, asking the gardener if we were alone. He said, "Yup, just me and my dog." And he was a believer, a knower, ever since. Miranda and Jack also had another recent encounter right by that same spot at Jack's parents' house, where they heard a loud crack come down from the valley near his property. It's really cool to hear my spiderweb of friends going through these cryptid encounters, as long as they're safe. I've interviewed people in Caryville that talk of the wood ape, the birchwood white thing, and also the Tim and Sons dogman, which I think is more of a skinwalker because it started at 7 feet and rose up to about 30. That brings me back to the Sleepy Hollow Wolfman and the dark canines that surrounded us in our childhood. This place reminds me of the Garden of Eden Trail, which is no surprise because it's on the same peninsula and in the same abundant oasis. But it goes from forest to swamp to pines to desert vibe in a matter of steps, in a matter of blinks, in a matter of thoughts. And as I pan around, keep your eyes peeled for things leaping from tree to tree. because they are friends. They know I am just trying to strengthen the bond and bridge between the unknown. This place really turns into a jungle, to a circus at night. But you can just feel the sacred energy in the eyes watching you as you're out here. A lot of people say they eat papaw plants. Dave Shealy suggests lima beans. Many people say red apples. I've had ribs and chicken go missing. They enjoy peanut butter and bright, shiny things. I was told a cool experiment is to set up a balloon, one that shines like happy birthday or congrats on the retirement, and tie that up to a tree and set up a trail cam or in just a muddy area to see if you can lure in the beast. Jack and the Beanstalk talks about lands in the sky. Is that why they're spraying us? Creating fake clouds to cover up Howl's Moving Castle. Journey to the Center of the Earth, Jungle Cruise, The New Ice Age, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. They all talk about the land underneath our feet. Mythical, magical. We're the city of Ember. Just another town like you and I. They don't even know the outside world exists. It's worth looking into. Felt like I heard a couple knocks in the distance. Or strange reverberation. Crazy how life works. I just got a text from Stacy asking me if I wanted to be a part of the next Outcast Paranormal films. Of course I said yes. But how wild that I'm hiking his backyard where his life forever changed. Maybe that same creature that he filmed will feel my connection with him. Truly a special place. Follow the seashells, follow the brain waves, follow the ancient frequencies, the fractals of our ancestors, the illuminate, the kin spirit. the open access to keep an eye on me. There's abundant out here. These steep hillsides remind me of Cuyahoga Valley National Park, also California. But CVNP is home of the Grassman, Helltown, Boston. And the peninsulas and valleys are a perfect home. See some small fish in the water. Perfect source of everlasting food. I heard a boom or a pound deep back there. We're definitely not alone out here. A lot of strange sounds and interesting vibrations. Delta that breaks into 4 rivers is going to be a magnetic hotspot and a powerful vibration to it to pull the great minds and Goliath beasts together. And these creatures definitely know where the sunspots are, or you'll be blinded if you look in that direction. Very cool. This stick is just leaning right here. This is definitely a path they use to get up and down the hill. Here's a pile of poop right here. It stinks really bad and is filled with hair. Right on Wildman's Hill. And Peaker's Perch. Gotta think. Devil's in the details. Like David Paulides said. Devil's Pass. Harryman Road. And Devil's Hole. All have ties to the beasts of the east and the Wookiees of the west. The Tennessee Titans, the Seattle Kraken, Seattle Supersonics, even the Colorado Avalanche logo is a Bigfoot. The Lake Erie Monster, the New Jersey Devils, the Green Bay Blizzard. We've been surrounded by these beasts our whole life. We write in cursive. We spell words. We are all clairvoyant. Energy is never created nor destroyed. It has always existed. The exotic canopy here holds many secrets, but I'm sure, kind of like an Ewok village, it can be malleable. Like Tarzan flying from vine to vine, I'm sure these skunk ape creatures flourish through this forest. Some casts show they have 4 toes and 4 claws instead of the usual 5. But our brothers in the Louisiana swamp have creatures that have 3 toes, sort of like an alligator. Drone use prohibited. I wonder why. Hammock landing battery. Trek through a war zone. Right here shows the maps. Hammock landing, Allen Bluff, Rico's Bluff, the Narrows, Fort Gadsden. There's gun emplacements, powder magazines, gun emplacements, and our artillery road right along this Apalachicola River. He had perfect vision of the river below, so it was a strategic oasis. I found a giant footprint right around here months ago. I have pictures of it. The sun is starting to go down, so things are definitely going to start getting strange underneath these southern magnolia trees. The ancient and archaic vibrations cross paths with modern marvels. And the in-between is where we have the magic. I just met a good, awesome man from Ohio. He's from Conshohocken, down south, towards West Virginia, where BF Bud and my grandparents reside. The Ohio Valley, the giants of Peebles and the Serpent Mound are just the tip of the iceberg. I hear some hikers below. I'm gonna ask them if they heard anything about the Cabbage Man, about the skunk ape. It's amazing that most people hike these paths and trails every day, not knowing what creatures are lurking in the shadows or behind bushes. The hardwood hammock is alive and abundant. It's always fun chopping it up with tourists and locals alike, testing to see if they've seen anything. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Going good.
Doing some skunk ape research. Did you guys hear anything or see anything strange along the path?
Not really.
Nothing today?
Other than the fact you can't go right in front of the house, it's washed out.
I know, it's sad, the river. Well, guys, keep your eyes peeled out here, just because there have been sightings, and you know, Finding Bigfoot filmed an episode out here about 8 or 9 years ago.
Heck yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled, head on a swivel, and feel free to check me out on YouTube, Bigfoot Anon. And I also have a TikTok too.
I'll look you up.
All right, take it easy, guys.
You too.
See y'all later.
See you later.
Cool places bring cool people, that's for sure. Constructing a battery. Limestone bedrock, physical labor, the Confederate Gun Emplacement. It's crazy to think that soldiers are hiding, like guerrilla warfare. Makes me think, what's waiting out here now behind enemy lines? It's about the 4th or 5th branch I've took to my face, but luckily I have the protective goggles. Another Confederate gun emplacement. And as many wildman and dogman reports show, somehow they're brought to these points of high energy. And from 1863 to 1865, this area was being heavily defended. Truly amazing seeing the river below. I could see Sasquatch using similar corridors under the hillsides. If we can do it, they can do it even better. The water below is sacred for many reasons. It may be the birthplace of life, but is also home to a sea creature. First time I was ever at Ocheezy Landing, a woman warned my mom and I about something lurking in the water. It's fun to imagine the soldiers perched up on this bank, hearing noises during the night from the ancient ones, the cabbage people. This is where things start to get hairy. You can see the game trail in the corridors. I'm sure their signatures are all through this domain. With the heavy leaves, you would not be sneaking up or sneaking out from anything. Here's an awesome trail right here. You can see how fast that water is moving. Truly amazing. The needle palms. Something the cabbage man loves to hide in between. It's just amazing to me how fast that water's flowing. It's like a raging river. Water from the Chattahoochee flows into the Apalachicola as well. Sadly, Chattahoochee is known for where a lot of the Atlanta child murder bodies and victims were found. But also a very cool place where you can find lots of treasure. And as if we didn't have enough things to look for, the skunk ape and the gator man combine forces here in the Panhandle swamps. There are strange echoes coming from across the swamp. Combination of owls, birds, dogs, and maybe something stirring them all up. This game trail is calling to me. This looks like a nice, slow area to lure fish in. Maybe the occasional alligator. This also seems like a perfect place where I can leave something to show my appreciation to our connection. I left a pile of sunflower seeds here at the end of the trail by the river in this nesting area. Nothing but respect and positive vibes for the forest deities and our ancient ancestors. Knock. Woo! Woo! What a magical evening. I feel like all my cause and effects have brought me out here to appreciate the Creator's creation. Thank you for slowing me down when I get too fast. So much going on right here. That's dug into the ground. Into a perfect magical doorway. It's amazing how it all just catches right there. Be perfect for making a habitat, a hunting blind. You could layer it with tons of Spanish moss. And no, it didn't come from Spain, guys. When the men came from Spain, their beards looked like this. Spanish moss. You're gonna find some fossils. They're gonna be in a dugout like this. Perfect little thing to hide inside. Very unique sounds from the bank over there. Amazing angle tree. Look at that, you can hide underneath that with ease. So right here is where the river floods out at, and this is what they were talking about, not being able to get much past. Got my EMF detector. Seeing if we can locate anything. Don't think we'll be able to get all the way around. So I'm just gonna get back to the blue trail. But imagine what's lurking in this overflowed water. The recent storms have definitely wiped the slate clean, and these ancient beings are taking over the forest. They are claiming what has been theirs. It's amazing to think what these raven mockers and stump jumpers will magically do. As we see this game cam goes directly under this bow. They have used this as a hunting tunnel. And this valley below holds many secrets. You can see the echoes. You can feel the shadows. It's all abundant. When you break down the walls and you open the doors of perception. The footage that Stacy Brown filmed here showed a strong, healthy, 9-foot tall skunk ape creature. But best believe they vary in size from just a couple of feet tall to towering trees. When you can check something off your bucket list, it's a solid day. Right here used to be where the Confederate Army held defense. See this vine? Imagine Harry and the Hendersons using this across the valleys like Tarzan. What a magnificent place. I truly know why they call it Garden of Eden. There's a cardinal right there, and that is a personal omen and totem for me that I am on the right path, because Ohio's bird is the cardinal. When I moved here to the Panhandle, we sold Sean Langley's artwork at my shop. He's from Ohio too. He had the cardinal and also the swamp thing, which was a perfect pat on my back to go in the right direction of the swamp and the buckeye combination. But the weird noises down the bank of the river will forever keep me puzzled.
void.
Okay, Connor, we found Bigfoot. His taxidermy head. They said this is actually a deer's butt. You can see the tail that runs down, and then they just put a face into it. It's pretty cool. A lot of these are compact.